it was an eye opener because I honestly thought that I was gonna die, and I tried to talk and wake my wife up. Couldn't really speak as good because again, one side was just totally numb. It's just really weird feeling, and I told her that I think I'm having a stroke. You go through this whole loophole of trying to make it big,
Right.
or you just do it out of passion, which I think that's the best part of what we love to do is doing it out of passion. If you do it for the wrong reasons, there's a chance that you won't be successful at it.
Right.
At no point whatsoever, obviously within my background too, when we STEM and we bring up the whole PTSD, that's not going and taking light of the matter.
Right.
We know that is something, one, that's definitely in existence for sure. And then two, I've had a lot of close friends that unfortunately it got the best of them.
Yeah.
So when it comes time for confidence, that was something that I lacked the most growing up. It was really weird. Yes, we were confident with each other, and what we wanted to do and being combative and stuff like that, and all fun. However, like when it came out time for us to be out in the real world and like being against other people and stuff like that, I never ever think that I'm the baddest guy in the room. However, I'm willing to take on the baddest guy in the room without doing it in an arrogant way.
Yo, welcome back to the Saturday Who podcast. I'm Sheemie Dubb.
And I'm Jay Walts.
Yes, and we here and we back. First things first, before we get to the new episode, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Cause you probably already did, but just make sure you click the subscribe.
Give us some likes.
Subscribe button
down here.
Button. I can't speak English today. Click the button. And just a reminder for our new viewers, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time to pick up this good knowledge that we spread in this these blessings that we've been able to receive. So just remember, what we do here at the Saturday Who podcast is we bring individuals on to tell their story, to tell how they were able to change their mindset, change their behaviors to be more fulfilling in the journey of their life, on their path. So that's what we do here at the Saturday Who podcast for my viewers. Welcome back, Jay Walt. My brother Jay Walt. It's been a minute.
Oh man.
We gonna tune in with him. We gonna scope in on him in future episodes. But it's just so every time we get to sit down and we get to do this, the energy is different. That we can feel the anointment.
Amen.
We can feel the blessings. We can feel the growth. So I want to welcome a good friend of mine that I've met since I got back to the East Coast, Austin Rhodes. Austin Rhodes is a husband, a father. I gotta take a deep breath. A veteran, actor, and a fitness enthusiast. So, without
together.
Clap behind that screen real quick. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce my friend and our newest brother, Austin Rhodes. Austin, welcome to the Saturday.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we just would like you to kind of, reintroduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell the people about you. And we're getting to know you. They're getting to know you. So,
yes.
Let us know what's up.
So my name is Austin Rhodes, as you may know now. Yes. So I have a plethora of things that I've done, in my coming up in life, such as personal training. I used to work for someone as a Pinterest. Oh God.
English is not our today.
Huh? Pinterest?
No. Apprentice. There we go.
Apprentice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Installing floor, doing sconces, stuff like that. And then later I decided to open my own company. From there, I wanted a set income coming in, so I joined the military.
Okay.
And from there, decided to go for law enforcement. That didn't work out great for me, unfortunately. So I went to executive protection work, where we were assigned with Secret Service, and was also Javante Davis Tank, the boxer. Those you that might.
Let's go.
Yeah, great guy.
That's good.
I was his armed guard along with my team and stuff. So did a bunch of things from there, and then I moved into bodybuilding, and I started doing competitions here as a classic physique competitor.
Right.
And from there, I actually picked up acting again because I did it prior to all these jobs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Plainfield, New Jersey.
Plainfield, New Jersey. We both from New York, so we right in that circle there.
Oh yeah.
So as far as fitness, you do fitness and you do
Oh, martial arts.
martial arts,
yes.
right? So was martial arts fueled by joining the military, or it seems like your career, your choices were military and law enforcement? Was the martial arts kind of fueled by
So
that?
it's interesting. I want to say I look up to very much my older brother. Our birthday is on the exact same day. It's actually crazy.
Both your birthdays.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 2 years older though. But he always wanted to do law enforcement, and that kind of just seeing his drive behind this stuff that he's done,
Yes, sir.
in order to accomplish that goal. Really driven me to wanting to do something like that, just taking a different route. He went to schooling route, and I went more or less physical route, such as going to the Marine Corps and stuff.
Right. Did y'all do a lot of, when y'all were younger, did y'all do a lot of, combative?
Oh God, yes, yeah. Me and my brother really competitive. Rather it's who can do the most push-ups, who can eat the food the fastest, and stuff like that.
Which discipline did you practice? Martial arts.
Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
So those two, and then I took on boxing as well when I started working in Baltimore City. Didn't do that one very long. However, Capoeira and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was a little over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can make him pass out after this?
No. I can't fight my way out of a paper bag, so it's just all for show. That's why I try to put on size.
I think it's good. So what would you say the competitive nature came from with you and your brother? Was it something bred in
That's interesting.
within your parents, or y'all just was like, oh, I'm gonna be better, we gonna be better than each other? How did that work?
It's really interesting, and I think it all stems from what we ingest, right? We consume as people growing up, whether it's from television, whatever. And a lot of the movies that we watch were martial art based. My father, he was a huge Steven Seagal fan.
Yeah. Okay. My grandfather.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal. What's Walker the Texas Rangers?
Chuck Norris.
There we go. Yeah.
Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce Lee. Oh my God. Yes.
My grandfather had me into everything.
Yeah. So watching those movies as a consumer, we're like, oh, who's the best and stuff like that. So then that stemmed, I think, a little bit more towards us being more competitive and all fun, fairness, and
that's
fun.
Good. I think that's interesting. That's an interesting way to hear it, because I don't know if y'all watched the Michael Jordan's documentary about
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see
So
that.
in that documentary, and don't quote me, I'm not quoting exactly, but he talks about the competitive nature of how him and his brother were very competitive against each other. And I think it was that competitive nature came from their dad. So to hear someone with a different scope on it, right? Because usually when you see like confidence, because if you're competitive, you're confident. I assume,
Yes.
right? Because I'm not a competitive person, but I grew up with max confidence issues. And so it didn't make me competitive. If I don't believe in myself, how would I be competitive, right?
Yeah.
So I look at your confidence, right? And it's crazy to think that you are a little brother, because when you're shy, right? Who's right? It's an immature thought process,
Did
but
you
like
ever do bodybuilding as well?
No, but if you've seen the size of this guy, you'd be like, wow. Yeah, he's 6'4", I'm only 6'1", maybe on a good day.
I'm 5'8" on a good day.
Yeah. And he's as big as I am, or bigger,
Right.
So.
Right. So it's just interesting to see a different context of where your competition is bred from. It's just kind of like it is in your blood. Then.
Right.
love to, hear about, how your parents grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like what kind of competitive nature in the household then. And I know the further back you go, sports, combative things were different,
Yes.
So not trying to get you to go down that road, but it's interesting to hear that come from that context that you and your brother were just like that. So you got that dog in you.
No.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
I'll say this to touch on the confidence thing. It's really weird because I think this is a part of us as consumers and what we see, what's all around us, not just televised, but what's all around us and the things that we encounter in life. So when it comes time for confidence, that was something that I lacked the most growing up. It was really weird. Yes, we were confident with each other, and what we wanted to do and being combative and stuff like that, and all fun. However, like when it came out time for us to be out in the real world and like being against other people and stuff like that, I never ever think that I'm the baddest guy in the room. However, I'm willing to take on the baddest guy in the room without doing it in an arrogant way.
That mindset going from the confidence with you and your brother to understanding that outside I'm going to have to be a bit more confident, but still being humble at the same time. So
yes.
what made that switch for you?
I'm glad you asked. So for sure, I think I know my father did a great job with instilling humbleness inside of us. So like, if you're too humble, that is like not feeding a plant, it dies when you're too humble. But when you're grateful with everything that you've been given from the hand of God, I believe that there's taking pride in what you own or have, but however, you also don't want to be bullets about it and real arrogant and stuff, because that turns people away. Two, I feel like people that are arrogant in what they do and stuff, they feel like they're God's gift to the world. They don't share any type of knowledge that they may have been given at an earlier time, because it's all about
fish mindset.
Yes. Yeah. So with my dad instilling the whole be humble and stuff, that's great, and I think that plays a big part of life.
Amen. I think just my interactions with you, you are a very humble person. I
appreciate that.
So it's kind of good to see. So, so you came up in Jersey. Explain to us how that was in Jersey, and because I know it's not too different. We right across the water from each other, so Jersey and New York, the environment is not too different. So how was that?
Yes. It was, I feel blessed. And the reason why is because I have a household of two. I'm not saying that it's impossible to be brought up in a household of just one, However, me, my family, my siblings, we've all been blessed to be brought up with a mom and a dad. So with that being said, in Jersey itself, the area we were was Plainfield, New Jersey. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. Right. I worked in Baltimore City, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in the part of the city that I worked at. Right. So in comparison to New Jersey and how I was brought up there, basically with New Jersey, my dad made it a point. He's an old-fashioned dad, so you guys know what I mean when I say old-fashioned. So when it comes time for discipline and disciplinary action and stuff, that was the way that we had got disciplined, which I'm grateful for. I wouldn't be who I am today without it. And then second of all, within Plainfield, New Jersey, you had a lot of the Bloods and the Crips and stuff like that. You had, people selling and this unfortunate environment. However, it's a necessity. It's a necessary evil that we have to encounter, while we're growing up in life. The reason why is because we learn from others' mistakes. So that was during my upbringing in Jersey. So
going from Jersey, you did a little bit of work and then you joined the military. So what was your mindset going from the place you were from and the things that you had been through going in the military, right? And how did that change on the outside coming from after you did 4 years?
Yes.
After your 4-year tour. Okay. After your tour was up, what did you look like?
So
Whew, you know,
So-
I know I just stopped.
No.
I was like, what's going on? What did you look like on both ends?
So what's interesting, so when I worked in Jersey, I worked, the regular job that any teenager would get, which is like, working at McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that. I know for a fact there was no Chick-fil-A where I was at in Jersey. Maybe later now there is, who knows.
Right.
But yeah, so I went from McDonald's. We were still dealing with a lot because at that time my grandmother was sick, and then shortly she passed, unfortunately. So my mom and my sister went to Florida, and we went from Jersey and we moved to Florida.
Right.
And then that's where I felt like it was a lot of change, but at the same time it was necessary change, because you go from one culture to another.
Right.
Where and I'm not one to claim the whole race thing or anything like that. However, when I was in the school, they actually had certain cliques where it was a lot of the Caucasians, and then it was Spanish
In Florida.
Yes, in Florida.
Okay.
And then the whole African American cliques.
Yep.
In Jersey, it was interesting because it was just African American and Hispanics. So regardless of where you go, one, ignorance is going to be everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like a given. It's up to you basically to kind of to learn from it,
Right.
but not indulge into it. So from working at McDonald's in Jersey, I was a teenager. When we moved to Florida, obviously I was still a teenager. I was finishing out high school, but there was an unfortunate event that happened. My dad, he had a stroke and heart attack. And so we would go, me and my brother would go to school. From there, we'd do our little martial art thing. Then we'd go to the hospital. My mom and my sister obviously would be by his bedside the whole time. I've never seen a couple that was so connected, spiritually. Yes. Yep. My sister, total inspiration to me as well, because she has just a God-given gift of drive to go for what she goes for in the medical field.
She's younger than you.
Oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the tough one. She's the toughest one out of the three of us. Throwing me through walls, punching my brother, stuff like that. So it's the good old sibling relationship. But I think all of them were real close, and I love them dearly.
You spoke a little bit about your mom or for family, your mom and your dad. How do you honor them, or how do they show up in what you're doing currently? Before we get into the next question, how do they show up in your lifestyle and who you are?
Yes. So they made me who I am. One, because of the closeness. Like I know we hear it all the time in Fast and the Furious. Family.
Y'all ate dinner together at night.
Yes, definitely. And it's true. I feel like when you have that close household, that definitely structures a great path towards like your upbringing and how you develop into who you are.
And it's good to hear that. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's good to hear that, because I grew up in a household where that didn't happen. Right. We had dinner together every now and then, but it wasn't a familiar thing. So to hear how it impacted you and to know how we do with our kids now, it's a positive reinforcement. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. And so there's so much more that gets involved with how we grow as people and individuals, right? So like you have people from a household that might have just one parent. You might have some people in the household that were mistreated and have no parents at all. But somewhere within, deep down inside of them, they have the passion to grow up and become something really successful.
So with your dad, you got the humility and the discipline. What would you say are the qualities from your mom?
I would say we got that from both of them, right? They personality and instillment of upbringing, they were really much alike. My mom, she had a feisty side, so if you did something wrong, she'll check.
It was structured, just they weren't like you can mommy and daddy. Then there was like it was a one.
So they were mommy and daddy too, for sure. You know, my mom, she'd do a great job with the upbringing, with nurturing us, making sure that, you know, we were well taken care of. My dad the same. You know, and then when we needed fixing, we got it.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I revert back to, like, you know, that's a necessary evil. I feel like, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong on this, but again, you guys, this is my opinion.
Right.
You know, as kids aren't disciplined in the wrongdoing that they do, I feel like, you know, they feel like they're what's the better word for it? Goodness gracious. They feel like things are owed to them. They haven't properly entitlement. So like when you get that mindset where you feel like you're entitled, then when something from life really hits you, you're gonna be so lost. You're like the blind.
I think of rules and structure in a household. I know we going down. Stay with us now. This is what you here for. So right. So when in structure in the household, I tell my kids this, especially the older ones. It's like when the structure and the rules here it doesn't mirror the rules of society, but there's rules out there.
Yes.
And when you disobey those rules, there are some heavy consequences.
Yes.
Right. But it's also not to just say, hey, if you do this, you're going to go to prison or you're going to end up here. It's to say, and I tell I'm a supervisor at my job. So I tell my subordinates, like, hey, listen, the decisions you make will interfere with the plans and the path that you have aligned in front of you.
100%.
Yes.
And it'll make it easier or harder.
Yes. Definitely.
Right? Or
gotta be intentional.
nothing's easy, but it will make it harder for sure. So when my kids go out and they turn 18, 19, 20 and they go out to the real world and they go out to college and they won't choose, like, knock on wood, the floor is wood, knock on wood, but if they choose the wrong things, right? If they choose to sell drugs, let's use that as an example, knock on wood again. But I see that. But if they choose the wrong thing,
I missed it.
But if they choose those things, then they end up in prison, and then they get taken, and now their path is interrupted. Right?
Yes.
Their path is interrupted, and now they have to come back and rehabilitate from the trauma that they go through in prison.
Yes.
Right? It's like not fixing yourself before a relationship, right?
Yes.
I'm a prior divorced person. I'm currently remarried now, right? But if I didn't fix myself in that after that last marriage, then I'm just gonna end up in this, and then I'm gonna continue blaming my trauma on somebody else that I'm putting on myself. You do collect trauma as you go along. People don't understand that. Like, you have your trauma from, maybe you might have trauma from your childhood and your upbringing. And I know I'm going down a rabbit hole, but this stuff gets me going.
Like, just like you go to the gym, you experience trauma. You stretch.
Right.
That's why you rest.
Right. So you definitely have to a structured household. A household with one or two parents. Everybody doesn't have two parents, right?
Correct.
But
rules and regulations.
Right. With rules and
for sure.
And standards.
Yes.
It is important, and sticking to your guns with your kids, because it's going to pay dividends for when they leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like your household was awesome. As far as the structure, standards, that sounds amazing.
Yes, and I'm blessed for that, for sure. And getting back to what you said about, like, you know, sometimes we have to face the consequences in order to fix ourselves.
Right.
That's
for sure.
That's because it's up to us to take accountability. Accountability is like a key word. So when it comes time for facing the consequences, there are some people that don't take accountability. It's always someone else's issue or someone else's fault, not theirs. And then those are the ones that don't properly grow from the mistakes. So and even with what you just brought up recently with the divorce and the new wife and everything, like, not saying that I don't know the situation or anything like that. However, if you knew that you had certain flaws, we all have flaws.
Right.
We're all human.
Right.
You go reassess the situation of what you've done wrong or anything like that, and you fix it.
Yeah, it is.
100% work.
It is. And I feel what your experiences up until what your life experience up until then, you feel, because what everybody knows, the military culture is a different culture. We all three of us know that. So did you feel more at home when you joined the military, or because did you feel more at home when you joined the military?
I feel like the military played a part of grounding me.
Okay.
And it sounds really weird because everything that we encounter in life creates an effect on us, on how we act in the future.
Yes.
So with the military, at a certain point, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was the most badass guy in the room.
Okay.
You know, and that was just in like boot camp. After boot camp, it was like, okay, nah, I gotta chill out a little bit, you know. But during boot camp, it was interesting. You know, I touched the waters a little bit. My drill instructor, he was great. He was great. Even the kill hats, all of them were really great people. I still keep in touch with them now. You know, and it's just a part of their job.
Yeah.
And I learned that, especially when I was in the fleet. But it definitely played a huge role into like how I am now, along with things prior to that.
That's good.
Right. I followed kind of the structure that your parents they established that foundation. And then going into the military was like more
right.
I would say that it definitely instilled more accountability.
Right.
Yes.
And being more organized.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like in the world we live in, we have to have some type of base of being organized.
So you don't regret your time in?
No. I'll say this. Within the military itself, sorry, someone keeps calling me. Within the military itself, sometimes it can be a great gift. To most, it can be a great gift.
Yes.
To others, it could be a total waste of time. Right. And the reason why I say that is because you have a lot of great people out there that don't need that type of structure on top of what they already have, you know, and then sometimes it breaks them and it brings them down a really bad rabbit hole.
I think it's I would agree to disagree, because I just think it's your oversight and how you look at things.
I think I was saying it from two different points.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely what you're saying. So with that, I don't want to stay into the military environment for too long. But that's very interesting to hear. Yeah. That's we laugh. We holding it together right now, but if we were just like rehearsing or something, me and him would be laughing for 30 minutes before we start talking.
No, we need it. And I want to just, for all the people that are watching, in case this is used, obviously, at no point whatsoever, obviously within my background too, when we stem and we bring up the whole PTSD, that's not going and taking light of the matter. You know, we know that is something, one, that's definitely in existence for sure. And then two, I've had a lot of close friends that unfortunately it got the best of them.
Yeah.
So
same here. So hey man, thank you for bringing that up.
Sure.
But so now we raised in Jersey, Florida, military, through your time, tell us where acting and performing comes in.
Yes. So I'm kind of everywhere with
it's good, you know, diverse.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to say jack of all trades.
Yeah. Go through a couple of things to figure out what's for you.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And my wife has this funny thing of calling me 50-50. The reason being is because 50% of the time it's going to be done right.
Okay.
Or 50% of the time it's not going to be done at all. So, you know, with that being said, your question one more time. I'm sorry.
I forgot. Nah, I'm playing. We got to relax. So, the military, right? Jersey, Florida.
Acting.
Military. Where does acting come in?
Yeah.
How did that?
So, before the military, I did acting because of my martial arts school. They had a short film that they were doing that they were gonna put place in a festival. I don't remember the name of the festival. So I was a part of that. And then you know, my mom has been behind me for anything that I want to try to like go out and do. So she was like, "Oh my God, my baby's a model, and like go for model and go for acting." And
did that come at the same time as physique? Taking your physique serious as well? I'm gonna get into film, so I'm going.
So I never thought, and I think that's because my brother's just so big. I never thought of myself as a big guy or a physique guy. Dead serious, yes. It's crazy because
next to me.
Yeah, I feel small now. You know? No, but I would say definitely when it comes time for that, the physique then wasn't until later.
Right.
When it came time for the acting, it was something that I went to pick up again.
Yes, sir.
My wife, total supporter in what I do, and you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at either as a husband, a father of 3, without her for sure. I mean it. You know,
Rhodes.
Totally. Goodness. Supportive. She's totally supportive in what I do. 100% behind me. You know, when I'm not there as a husband in the household, she's definitely going and she's taking care of the thing.
Man. Time out. Pause on the plate. We need more husbands. Everybody calls themselves influencers and things like that. That's fine. Go ahead and influence the world to worship your wife. Because this is what my wife does right here.
And it's beautiful.
Behind the scenes and the look of Saturday Hoop Podcast is forever revolving, forever evolving, right? So 5 kids, myself. So we don't give enough love, you know.
And even like he talked about the mindset piece. I know the way that I thought before I met my wife versus now, completely different.
Yes.
Right. You know?
Right.
And iron sharpens iron, but it's that woman's touch that makes the difference.
So shout out to the Watt. Shout out to the Watt. Sorry to cut you off.
No. It's definitely something that's necessary, right?
So the wife, she supported you as far as getting back into the acting.
Yes, 100%.
From acting, right? My guy right here got a production company.
Let's go.
So from acting, he was like, I just don't want to be in front of the camera. I want to support what's going on behind the camera. So how did that production piece come up?
So the production side came up is actually kind of funny to me. I'm the type of guy that if I don't like a certain vibe, such as, let's just say, law enforcement, you know, I didn't get with that.
I thought you were saying the Saturday Hoop
Podcast. I love it, definitely. What you guys do and stuff, too. However, I would say that there was a set that I was on. And, you know, it's great people a part of that set. Am I allowed to say any name now? Probably not.
If you want.
Okay. Ashanti. Ashanti was part of it. She was a total sweetheart.
I had a big on Ashanti when I was young. Nah, I'm putting
edit that out. No. No, but Ashanti, she was a total sweetheart. She was real down to earth. She didn't think she was bigger than life. Like she wasn't like super arrogant or anything like that. Everyone was going, shout out for sure. You know, everyone was like, oh my God, Ashanti, blah blah blah. I'm the type of guy that doesn't get starstruck. You know, it's either if someone's really great. Everyone's, rather you're in filming, music, whatever it is, everyone is just a human being. So you know, they bleed just like me. So when it came time for seeing her, I was just like, hello. She was same way, just cool, casual. Hi. That was it. She went on her way. I went on my way. And within that set, there was someone else. I don't know her name, but there was someone else that was a part of that set. And this is when I first started. She kept shushing the background. I was the background. And I ended up saying something that basically got me kicked off of that set. You know, and it's just things that happen. Again, this is me starting out, not really knowing, but then also coming from a background of like military infantry, just say what's out there, you know. I wasn't as belligerent. I was just combative with what someone was trying to tell me, especially when she's not the director and she's in like a...
And some people aren't straightforward. So when you're a straightforward person, they take that as an offense. They're not straightforward because they don't people don't like dealing with conflict, right? And any little thing is like, hey, you could have been like, hey, why you continue to shush us? And be like, we need him to go away.
Yeah.
You could have said it like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it really don't be our fault.
No, and it wasn't. So the killer part is the reason why it wasn't, and I don't think it was. At least I'm not gonna. How can I say this? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna accept that it wasn't, because there is like a 1% chance out of the 99%.
Accountability.
That is yes.
Yeah.
So I will say this though. Everyone else was talking. Everyone that was a part of that cast and crew were talking.
Right.
But the background for that specific set was mistreated, and I'm talking about from the crew side to that individual, that lady. So I said what I said, like, there's other people talking, and then I said some other things, and then the things that I said after that, I should not have said.
Okay.
And
accountability.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about.
So she later went to the director, hey, like, he just said blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to need you guys to go upstairs. You're not needed yet. But I knew what that meant. So it is what it is.
So that was like your canon moment, right? I can't look at it. It's like your canon moment. This is what happens when we don't see each other in a long time.
Oh, that's good.
And we haven't seen each other in 3 months.
When I see my brother, nothing ever gets done because we're old. Just chopping. We go to work out together.
Yeah.
Either we're like, oh, who could do more pull-ups, or who can do a handstand.
Working out with each other.
So, but that was like your canon moment on that production, to be like, you know what? I'm going to start my own production.
Yes.
company. What's the name of your company? Can you tell us?
Prestigious Entertainment.
Prestigious Entertainment.
Right. Description will be the link will be in the description down below.
Thank you.
So can you tell us tell us more about Prestigious Entertainment.
So when I started this company, it was more or less of trying to, one, give back. Obviously, I want to try to bring up everyone that's in the entertainment industry.
Yes, sir.
That just haven't had a chance yet.
Right.
Sometimes you go through this whole loophole of trying to make it big,
right,
or you just do it out of passion, which I think that's the best part of what we love to do, is doing it out of passion. If you do it for the wrong reasons, there's a chance that you won't be successful at it.
Right.
However, so I opened Prestigious Entertainment and moved here to Georgia.
Yes, sir.
In the town that I live at, it's a smaller town, and there's not a lot of people for sure, but there's a lot of talented people there. There's talent no matter where you go, but there's not as much opportunity. So I wanted to provide opportunity within the town and the outer skirts of the town as well, to people who are and want to be a part of the entertainment industry that just haven't get the opportunity yet. Had the opportunity yet.
And I feel like you creating that production company definitely gives those people that maybe they haven't yet saw that this is a gift that God has given them, and they are to pursue something in that area, right?
Yes.
So I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Shout out to you, man. So, I want to go back a little bit, because I know this is probably during your production company when you started it and you were grinding. We talk, offline all the time, and I think one of the key things that we haven't talked about yet, and we definitely need to hit on, is you ran into a health issue while you were grinding, right? So Saturday, who was the mindset of changing rough environment, changing your mindset, adapting and overcoming and doing different from what you might have seen, Bloods, Crips, things like that, right? Based on, definitely based off your upbringing, sounds legit, sounds good, you know what I'm saying? So that definitely is a added to you, but you had to bounce back from health issues as a grown man, and that definitely, I've seen people have health issues and not be able to bounce back. So tell us how you do that, especially for the people there's people out there wondering.
So I would say this, when it comes time for the health situation, it definitely makes us cherish what we have.
100%.
Even the lowest of our lows, we should still be grateful for what we have. And the reason why I say that is because, maybe your money's not right. However, you go out I know there's a certain area in Sarasota, Florida, where there's a lot of homeless people.
Yes.
And within that area, just because your money isn't where you would like it to be, you should still be grateful that you have a roof over your head. Whether it's your roof or not, it's still a place that you can stay at that's warm. There's food. You have there's a lot of stories of people who are just trying to, I've seen people digging at trash cans and stuff like that, trying to get a little bit of food and stuff. And then you do have some guys that are homeless that are panhandling that actually go to a pretty decent sized house. And the people that's in Baltimore City, you guys know who I'm talking about, because that's
like faking.
Yes.
Oh,
100%. Yes.
Okay.
It's crazy, but it definitely does exist. And I only speak on Baltimore City.
Right.
Not everyone there. Don't take my words and run with it. I'm not saying that not everyone there is not homeless. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you do have a lot of. You have a decent amount, or some. I'll say it's a few. You have a few people that fake the funk, but really they have a nice place and car and all that stuff. It's crazy.
So you would say, can we talk about what happened specifically with your health?
Yes. Sorry, I went on a whole different.
No, you good.
So with my health, it was an eye opener, because I honestly thought that I was gonna die. I felt great. I was working out. There was a buddy of mine that I seen a couple days prior to the stroke and the heart failure that I talked to, and I said, hey, I just feel like I got a cold. I just don't feel myself. I feel a little bit weaker. But weak for me is like benching 375 for reps. So at that time I was just like, it just has to be a cold. It's never serious.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just taking a few days off. 2 days later, I wake up and I can't feel the left side of my body.
Wow.
It was really bad. I have problems with my lower back L4 and L5 discs. So sometimes when I sleep, I'll prop my feet up, elevate them, and I was like, maybe my foot just went to sleep. Tried to go roll over on my stomach and tried to do a push-up, and I literally fell on my face.
Oh man.
And I was like, this is weird. And I tried to talk and wake my wife up. Couldn't really speak as good, because again, one side was just totally numb. It's just really weird feeling. And I told her that I think I'm having a stroke. She got up and she rushed me to the hospital. And at that time, when at 33 years old, or actually at the time I was 31. So at that time, just kind of laying in bed and stuff, and then you're in the hospital, you get admitted, they're like, oh, you have heart failure, blah blah blah. But I want to say 4 days of me being at the hospital, that fourth day I got better before I started getting worse, or I got worse before I started getting better. So when it came time for me consuming food and stuff like that, I couldn't hold anything down. I was just vomiting, and there was a certain time frame where no one was visiting me, just for like a hour or two. My wife was always there, my mom was always there, my siblings were always there. And long story short, within that time of being alone, I thought for a second, I might not make it. But then also being on the bed and seeing when I would take care of my father and stuff, I also didn't want to. I just felt really vulnerable.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're still here with us, bro.
But with that, it definitely it made me look at life differently through a different scope of just cherishing everything I have around me. Being, God just blessing me with being able to get full function of both sides of my body, developing a stronger heart, and carrying out my everyday activities and stuff like that.
Gym and everything.
And, yes.
Shout out to your wife again, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. You championed her a lot during the podcast, but yeah.
So that bounce back. What was that? Was it I happen to be more fortunate than some people who have gotten into a stroke, so I need to take advantage of this,
Yes.
ability or this.
I would say that the mindset that I had was I can either soak it all in and just basically, in my mindset, and this is probably not the best way to say it, but this is the best way I can kind of put it out there, is like, why be weak when I'm giving gifts to keep pushing forward? You know, so if I can get up, why lay in bed? If you don't use it, you lose it. And I say with that, if I just would have just kind of laid around, not do as much.
Did you want to? Did you want to do that and you fought against that, or that wasn't even
I didn't want to get up. I wanted to soak it in. Like, it's nice having my wife bring me food and just enjoy it. I love to eat. So like, when it came time for that, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna, you know, just soak all this in and play it to the end. You know, I'm gonna actually do something, because if I don't, it's going to create more health issues. So within that week, I was like, okay, can I go to the gym? You know, can I do this? Can I do that? I was trying to still wrestle with my son, play around martial art wise. And, yeah, I get winded fast, and, my natural ability of what I can do was kind of, challenged. However, with that challenge, I said, you know what, in order to get better and get to where I was, or better than where I was, I got to keep challenging this challenge.
Yes, sir.
Aside from any medications that you took, what was something that you did to strengthen your heart? Because even if you didn't have a stroke before, preventative measures or whatever the case.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
I would say, besides the medication and stuff, like I said earlier, if you don't use it, you lose it. Your body, I feel like our bodies are made to fight things off. I agree. So when you take only medication, you only depend on medication. It's right. It can help fight it off, but at the same time, it can also make
your ability to fight it off.
Yes. Yeah. So like, when it came time for doing stuff, although I didn't feel like doing it, I still did. I still pushed my body. Your heart's a muscle. So, you know, I still push myself enough, not too much to where, okay, now I'm starting to, you know, go back. It was when I felt like I would push it too much, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a day or two off. And then when I didn't want to, obviously my wife was like, you know what, maybe you should just chill out a little bit. And that was a necessity. I needed that.
Physically active.
Yes. Yes.
So I hate to kind of like close this out, but I know you got other engagements that you got to head to, and doubling back, overview of the story. Raised in Jersey for a little bit, parents taught you humility and had a discipline and had a great structured household, and brother, you and your brother y'all got that dog in y'all, right?
Got it from my older sister.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, definitely.
It's a punching through walls.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So that bred a different type of passion in you, a different type of fire in you, right? Went and joined the military, tried to take a different path to follow the big brother, saw a different calling in acting, and then acting led you to production and providing a different experience for people who are either underprivileged or do not notice the gifts that they have. So beautiful that you provided that opportunity. And then, you know, husband, father, champions, your wife, y'all seem like a dynamic duo, and that's beautiful. I'm grateful to have met you, because I'm very passionate.
No, I am.
Thank you.
I'm very passionate about what we do, and I think not aside from the podcast, like, we really live this life, right? Let me take my glasses off because I'm getting there. So we really live this life, and to have met someone my age that, you know, you had a heart attack, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think we prepare for what we have to do when we have to push forward, but to meet someone that had to do what we prepared to do is
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's these are small wins. These are small wins that the Saturday Who podcast offer you. So thank you. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And thank you, just, you know, we saw each other working out in the gym, and then we saw each other at work. We never talked in the gym. And then we saw each other where we work at, and I was like, you're the big gym guy. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess I see you around, you know what I'm saying? And then we see each other in the gym. And that was one of the first stories you told me when I'm just getting back into it. I'm just, you know, and I was just mind blown, right? So, yeah, thank you for coming by.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you having me.
sharing your story, and I think we are very conscious of the people that we bring into our environment. My podcast is in my home, so to have your energy here in my home, this is one of the best.
It's not your home, it's your studio.
I wouldn't say that with my brother, like working on it with him and being able to be that for each other, because we are looking for it outside, whether it have been in mentors or elders in our family, and not being able to find it. They're doing the work, and when you become that, you attract it.
Yeah.
So we really, you even being here is a testament to who we've become.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we
Birds of a feather.
I would like you.
Sure.
I would like you, before we go, for the people of the Who, I would like you to leave a message for not just male and female artists out there, just for everyone.
Yes.
Just look at the camera and then leave them your words.
I would say definitely embrace the struggle, embrace the suck, you know. You know, when there's these potholes and stuff that flatten your tire, it's up to you to go and fix it. Otherwise it doesn't get done. If you keep pointing the finger at other people and stuff and you don't take accountability is one of the things that's going to help you grow.
Yes, sir.
It's easy to kind of lay down and just be consumed and just get lazy, as opposed to actually pushing against any struggles or anything you may encounter along the way. But all those encounterments are going to make you stronger and better.
Amen.
Yeah. Right on.
And again, tell them about your production company, where you find it.
So if you go Prestigiousentertainment.site, that's my website. You'll be able to find everything of what I do. I'm still in the process of, you know, making it gorgeous.
Getting on the ground level and see what it grows into.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
But I think definitely for those of you who are in the entertainment industry or want to get in, this is definitely a place that you guys might want to check out. There's going to be a lot more that I'm going to be able to offer for you guys. And when it comes time for, you know, actors, people in crew, musicians, stuff like that, we're focusing on all basically sharpening each other. Iron sharpens iron. So with that being said, the amount of connections that you grow or that you build along the way, along the path, are tremendous. They're strong, and it's definitely going to help you guys.
Right? Yes, sir. All right, y'all. This has been the Saturday Who podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Sheemie Dubb.
Jay Walts.
And this is Austin Rhodes. And thank you for tuning in to another episode.
Peace out. Thank you, guys. Peace.